So we talked about third-party payments versus payments to subcontractors. Payments to subcontractors, again, follow a whole different criteria. Again, they have to be, for SR&ED, they have to be performed in Canada, ideally physically in Canada. The subcontractor is ideally at arm's length. So if I have a subsidiary, I'm Boeing, and I own different companies. One makes the wing, and one makes the tires, and I assemble it, but they're all my companies. I can't artificially mark the price up. I gotta do a look-through provision and only claim my real cost, what I actually paid outside, not what I paid intercompany. Okay? They got to file a Canadian tax return, which ultimately means they have to provide an HST number. So every project where you're claiming a contractor, they're going to ask, what's their name? What's their HST number? And then what they're going to do is they're going to run those numbers on a computer, and they're going to see, did that client file a claim for SR&ED? And if so, did they file a claim on the same project? And if so, did you guys double dip on the cost? Did you claim the same cost twice? So this is one of the main things that they're looking for. And they're pretty good at capturing because computers will match up the HST numbers. And it's just a matter of them looking at whether the project looks the same. Okay? So really, what happens is the law allows both parties to claim. If I got a Canadian payer and a Canadian performer, the law says either can claim. Doesn't matter. You should agree amongst yourself. Is really what the CRA says. Who's going to claim the credits? If you have a contract, I get all the credits. That's it. You got a contract, follow the contract. Perfect. End of story. That's the right way to do it.
So if you've got a facility to do testing for you outside of Canada, that's not claimable?
Correct, because that would not be a taxable supplier. Okay, so a taxable supplier has to invoice you with a Canadian HST number. And that's really how they get it. Now, you may get the odd guy who's under $30,000 a year in revenue, and then they can put NR, non-registrant, right? You get that. Oh, you know, this professor has some kids who come in. They're not on T4, but he can prove he paid them for helping with his research or something. Happens a lot. I mean, it's not the right way to do it. OK, they're a contractor, NR, non-registrant. But you got to put NR, or it's, the form won't accept it, right? OK, so basically what arm's length contracting says is if I have a parent company that pays $200 to its subsidiary, right, that actually only spent $150, I can either claim it in the R&D company, or I could claim the $150 in the parent. Okay? But I can't mark it up. I can't mark it up by the profit margin. If these were arm's length, then the parent company, if it paid $200 to an arm's length company, it wouldn't know what the costs are. It could claim the $200. And that's really it, right? This is because a couple big companies way back were abusing this. They were doing things, and when the CRA found it, they got very offended and put these rules in that sometimes catch the little guy who's really not playing any games. But basically, there's a rule where you can, when you have non-arm's length companies, you can transfer qualified expenditures. So if I did it in my subsidiary, but I wanted to transfer the credits to the parent, you can do that. Or you can just claim it in the subsidiary and transfer the money. I mean, that really doesn't matter. So basically, the adjusted cost is really the true cost. That's the easiest way. Whatever the performer actually spent, whatever it paid its employees, that's its real cost, not what it would charge its employees out at their charge-out rate, what it actually paid them, kind of like the T4 slip analysis we did here. If you follow that way, you're fine.